All right, good day, everybody. It is Monday, September 20th. Going to do a quick update and live stream today. So it's been a while. I've been on vacation. I did a post, and I know a lot of people missed that post in the community. So I just wanted to let everybody know that I am still getting back into the swing of things. I was taking care of a property, actually doing some renovations to one of my real estate properties, and in the process of selling it. So just been going through a bunch of pretty big juggling act at the moment. So I've just been taking some time off and some vacation away from YouTube, but still been very active in the private group for private members. And shout out to everybody in the PAL group. I know everybody has been, emotions are running high, right? So everybody's pretty much down in the dumps lately. There's not a whole lot of activity in the space. So I just wanted to come on to do a quick update video, let everybody know that I'm just in the process of finish selling a real estate property that, I think that with everything that's going on, it's never a bad time to take profits, right? And I know this isn't exactly what everybody wants to hear, that the MJ space is down 80%, but it is what it is. So we'll do a quick update and just do a little bit of a pep talk here. So I do have a couple of news articles I want to share with everybody, but if anybody does have any questions or anything like that, if you need a vent, by all means, just feel free to do so in the chat. So we're going to jump into it here in a couple seconds. So we'll give it another minute or so for people to join us, and we'll get right into it. All right, welcome back on the pursuit of wealth, everybody. We're going to get started here in just about 30 seconds. So welcome back. We're going to get started with the live stream here in just a couple seconds. So sit tight. All right, everybody, welcome back. It is Monday, September 20th. Going to get started in today's video. So I just want to say, like I said, emotions are running high. I know a lot of people are extremely frustrated at the moment, and a lot of members, just a lot of people on social media saying that, this is really hard and painful looking at this every day. And it certainly is. That's the name of the game. That's what this is all about, is making the retail investor feel these emotions. And right now, this is where I am being greedy, right? I am feeling the need for greed, because right now everybody is fearful, and I'm happily able to buy that fear. And I know that nothing's going to go to zero, right? We know that the MJ space isn't going to go to zero. We know there's going to come a time where everybody and their dog is bullish again. And the same thing happened last year. It happened in 2018. Things corrected about 98%. So this is what we were talking about back in February. If you look at Tilray now down over 80%, CGC as well down about 80%, Hexo down over 80%. So all the tier one companies are down about the same from their February highs. So some positive news though, Canada's biggest cannabis market, Ontario, reaches 1,000 legal stores. So this is a huge milestone. We know that they were just at about 400 or 500 at the beginning of the year. So that is a huge step up, and twofold in terms of the increase there. So we had some pretty big weakness today in SPY as well. So this is another reason why we have been just reiterating the need for a hedging plan or keeping some cash on the side, because we know that nothing goes in a straight line forever. And we mentioned that SPY could see some monthly consolidation, and that MJ was not set up well for that at all. And you can see here, the last time we consolidated on the monthly was back in September of 2020. And now look, we had full year without any monthly consolidation, and lo and behold, here we are, September 2021, a full year later, and we're starting that monthly consolidation, having lost 436 support here, and we are now consolidating on the monthly time frame. So we knew this was coming, and all things considered, MJ was only down about 5 to 10% in the sector. And again, the whole sector, if you're wondering why your name is down, it is because of this huge waterfall. And this is why I had been reiterating time and time again that I was holding a lot of SPXS in case the market went belly up, and if the overall broader market fell, I would suspect that MJ as a whole, as a sector, would fall. And as a result, I've been able to unload some of that SPXS I profited on the way down. We're now down about 5% off of the all-time high on SPY. And then I was able to roll that into some MSOS, some US MJ, some Canadian MJ, Hexo being my biggest position at the moment. And just absolutely insane the valuation that this company has right now. It's only valued at about 570 million the last time I checked, with about 276 million shares circulating. So roughly about the same as OGI in terms of share count. And the market cap is relatively the same as OGI as well. But the fact that Hexo is only, I think CGC is valued at 8 billion and TLRY is valued at 6 billion, and Hexo right now, the Redecan deal alone, the cash component was 400 million in cash, and it was valued just under $1 billion at 925 million. So the fact that Hexo only worth 570 million is pretty astonishing. Also, Canopy chief legal officer leaving after giving a minimum required notice. So that stock was down over 8% today, again seeing a little bit more downside, but the whole sector seeing a ton of weakness. And again, if you need to vent, the comments section is there for your venting needs. So Hexo, just as a reminder, they are going to participate in the city's 5th annual Consumer Disruptive Growth Conference tomorrow. That'll be September 21st, Tuesday, and that will be at 11:20 a.m. Eastern Time. So just want to let everybody know that if you're wondering why your name was down today, I know a lot of people were saying, give me some good news on Hexo. And I know a lot of people said, I haven't been making a whole lot of videos lately. Again, just if you're tuning in late, I've been on vacation. I did a post in the community section, but I realized that may have not reached everybody. So if that didn't reach you, I apologize, but certainly not ghosting anybody. I'm perfectly happy to be buying the dip at this time. And like I said, back in February was when we were looking to be selling, right? That's when we wanted to be selling, was back when things were at, that February high, whenever emotions were running high and we were at weekly overbought, and things don't just go up in a straight line forever. I said, expect a 10, 20, 30, 40, maybe even 50% pullback. Certainly has gone a lot lower than I would have expected. I thought that we could have, seen a potential bottom around the $5 mark. But again, it can always go lower than you think, and even lower than that. So now's the time to ask any questions that you might have. Again, we are bearish until proven otherwise, but a lot of our names, even MSOS, not even weekly oversold yet. So a lot of our names likely going to have to reach that weekly oversold conditions, or else we need just sector-wide news that's going to offset this. So we're going to have to remain patient, but patience is the name of the game. And again, if you think that this is all going to zero, you're sadly mistaken. This is just the way cycles work, and we're clearly in a bear market after having run, hundreds of percent back in February. So we're just waiting for that shift. And of course, right now, there's absolutely no signs of life in the sector. So we just have to remain patient and remind ourselves that now's the time where we want to be buying the dip, right? And so many people are down. I understand that. And forgive me, I don't have my regular setup at the moment. So I'm just going to switch back to this screen here for the time being. But if I can leave you with one thing, it's don't let your emotions get the best of you. Don't let emotions make your buying and selling decisions. This is exactly what they want you to do. This is exactly how they want you to feel. They want you to feel like you're waking up, each and every day feeling more blood and more pain, and they try and shake you out. And then this is going when you least expect it. The name that you potentially sold the bottom on is going to explode 10, 20, 50, maybe even 100%, right? So just keep your chin up, and if you're buying in, right, if you were buying in at $5 on some of these names, or on Hexo, for example, or if you're buying Tilray at $20 or $30, don't beat yourself up. Like I said, it can always go lower than we think, and it's pretty much a guaranteed certainty that you're not going to time the bottom. It's pretty difficult to do it. It's almost impossible. If you did time the bottom, it would just be by sheer luck anyways. So if you take a position tomorrow on anything, whether it be a stock or a crypto, you pretty much have to expect that it's going to be worth less at some point in the future. Why do you ask? That's because we're not, we don't have crystal balls. We don't know when the exact bottom is going to be. We can use technical analysis and charting and all of those different tools to help, get an overall general idea, but it's not a guarantee, right? So nobody knows. Don't feel bad if you bought, you're down 20, 30, maybe you're down 50%. Don't feel bad, it happens, and use it as a learning opportunity. So The best thing that I can say at this point is there's a lot more greener days ahead. We're now down over 80% on a lot of our names from February highs. There's going to be a time again where everybody's feeling greedy, and everybody and their dog thinks we're going to 100 on all of these names. So again, just wanted to come on, do a short and sweet update. Again, for the people that are joining late, I'm just finishing up a real estate property sale. I was doing some renos to it and putting it on the market, and it's due to close here in about a week. So looking forward to that. And like I said, was touring. If you checked out the PAL Group Facebook page and the social pages, I went to Newfoundland, toured all of Newfoundland, did the Cabot Trail in Nova Scotia. That was absolutely beautiful, and went all over the place pretty much. I was in Montreal, I was in Toronto not too long ago, did a trip across Canada, so I've been pretty much coast to coast. That was my goal, was to drive all the way from BC to Newfoundland, and I did that. I took the ferry to Newfoundland, so I essentially went from in vehicle. I went from BC all the way from Nanaimo to Newfoundland. So that was a pretty cool feat in less than a year, when most people weren't even really doing anything because of COVID, obviously. So it was nice to have an excuse to kind of tour my own backyard and see how beautiful all the scenes are in Canada, and see all of what Canada has to offer. So, hi Rod, my worry is we are heading for a reverse split again with Hexo. No, I really don't think that will be the case. They're on the NASDAQ, and I mean, look at SNDL. So if SNDL doesn't see a reverse split, I highly doubt Hexo will, because SNDL, I think their share price last time I checked was at like 69 cents or something like that. And they just came out with this new caviar cone, which is pretty cool. So not really meant for the newcomer though. If you're not somebody who can, it's like approximately 13% to 32% of the cone type products in 2021. Sorry, no, that's not the right one. It's about 30% THC though. It was like keef rolled in oil into a joint. It was pretty intense. So I don't think that's really going to benefit the stock too much. It was a cool product that they released, but like I said, it's not really targeting the mass MJ consumer. Not everybody's looking for 30 and 35% cannabis products right now, at least not at this time. So SNDL sitting at 68 cents. So like I said, if SNDL is at 68 cents and it's on the NASDAQ, similar to Hexo. Hexo is just under $2. I'd be watching SNDL. If SNDL starts to if we hear a rumor of a reverse split, maybe. I really don't think. We know that Hexo was going to do an 8-to-1 reverse split, and then they decreased that down to a 4-to-1 reverse split. So I really don't think that, if they really did think that they were in trouble, they would have just went with the 8-to-1. So that shows me some confidence in management, that they think that they're not going to have to resort to another reverse split. I really don't think it's going to happen. Like I said, we're down over 80%. I think that a bottom is near. Again, the broader market weakness at the moment, I don't think the bull market is over. I think that SPY, this isn't the blow off top that we've been looking for. If you look at Tesla hasn't even started monthly consolidation. QQQ hadn't started monthly consolidation either. So unless we see all of our sectors start to see monthly consolidation simultaneously, this isn't the blow off top that I'm expecting. I think this is just our monthly consolidation that was a year overdue, that we knew would happen eventually. And like I said, QQQ still hasn't started monthly consolidation yet either. So we'll be watching the overall broader market. But at this point, MJ's still not out of the woods yet, right? We have absolutely the potential of more downside from here. Some of our names could see 10, 20% of downside from here before we hit our next monthly supports, right? So we just have to prepare ourselves mentally that the prices still can go a lot lower. And again, if you're buying these dips, and if you bought maybe a week ago or 2 weeks ago and you thought you were buying real low and you're down 20% now a couple weeks later, well, just remind yourself that you are most certainly not going to time the bottom. So even if you're down 10, 20%, if you're playing the long game, right? If you're in this for the long game, like myself, and right now I'm establishing long-term positions. I've got, the golden rule. I'm not investing any more than I'm willing to lose. And I was selling back in February. I most certainly didn't time the top. I was selling on the way to the top, right? On a lot of names, like Hexo being my biggest position, I was selling it around $8, $9 US. And now I've been buying back ever since about $5. I went pretty heavy at $5, and I've been averaging in ever since. But again, I had some hedging positions on SPXS, so I was short the S&P 500 with some leverage through a bear ETF. And then as SPY went down over the last couple of days and weeks, I was unloading some of that to take advantage of the lower MJ prices. So again, yes, I'm down in my account on some of my accounts and some of my positions, I'm down 20, 30%. But again, that is after having been up hundreds of percent back in February and dollar cost averaging back in. Now, my way of investing or my strategy might not be the best that works for everybody, but that's what I do in a bear market. When we're in a huge bear market, I'm not really looking to day trade with all this chop, right? It's usually going to be a big move, and it's usually going to come after hours or pre-market, and the whole sector is just going to rally, and it's going to catch a lot of people off guard. And I don't want to be that person who's missing out after having, been unloading. And that was my plan, was to start buying back in once we start to see the bear market, and knowing that we have that seasonality type of effect with the summer lull. Again, it was the bulls had a lot of proving to do, and we ran hundreds of percent, right? If a name like Tilray runs 10x, it's not uncommon to see it pull back from $67 all the way down to, I think it would hit $11 or something crazy like that today, right? So I mean, again, if you're wondering why your name is down, just zoom out, look at the whole sector. The whole sector has been bleeding out for months now, and there's going to come a time where the tipping point is going to flip the other way, and we're going to run out of selling pressure. We're going to run out of sellers, and eventually we're going to see that shift. And I guarantee you that the next bull market in MJ is going to be a doozy. But I do think that we need to see crypto top out. I think we need to see the tech stocks top out. So we'll be watching Tesla for monthly consolidation. We'll be watching QQQ for monthly consolidation. If we see a huge drop in crypto and crypto enters a bear market, we see the S&P 500 and tech stocks all enter a bear market and a massive pullback simultaneously, then I think that we could see a huge market flush. But I think we have about 2 to 3 months left of this bull cycle before I think we could see a stock market crash some point early 2022. So what I'm expecting to be a catalyst as well, I mentioned this to private members in the group today, that the Bitcoin ETF is going to be a big deal. And the reason why I think that is because crypto has been leading this bull market. It's been signaling the market. So when crypto runs, usually Bitcoin, we saw like the tech names like Tesla would run, and then S&P 500 would follow. And that's because Tesla is has a big weighting in the S&P 500 now. So if we see Bitcoin get the US, the United States, let's say they approve a Bitcoin ETF, what better way to create a blow off top and an ending to a massive bull run than to let the floodgates open of the United States? You're going to be able to buy Bitcoin in an exchange traded fund, which means you can buy it directly through an ETF on your stock exchange. That will open up the floodgates. We'll see crypto explode. Then I think we're going to see the stock market explode as well as a result, because it's traded on a stock exchange. And that's going to create a lot of hype and euphoria, in my opinion, in both crypto and in stocks. And I think that's what could propel us to one leg higher, maybe close to 475, 500 on SPY, and I'm targeting about $100,000 for Bitcoin, but before the end of the cycle. So that's what I'm looking out for. I don't think that we're entering a prolonged bear market just yet in the broader market and the crypto market. I think we're still healthy. Of course, we'll be monitoring the situation, but I think we need those two to really have their blow off top moments, and then money leave those sectors into MJ. That's what happened in 2017 and into 2018. I don't expect it to be any different. It's just the way these cycles and these markets work, right? So I think that MJ could potentially have a pretty nasty couple of weeks ahead of it. But again, I think that we could see a lower high here at some point, at least on the weekly time frame. We're getting pretty extended and close to weekly oversold. I think CGC hit weekly oversold today as well. So that's a pretty big deal. But I would expect a weekly bounce here before too long. But ultimately, I don't think that MJ is going to have a massive bull run where the whole sector is reaching all-time highs like back in 2018, unless we see crypto enter a bear market. I really, really do believe that. Dang, I guess when my dog told me it would be green for Hexo, she must have meant the buds only. Yeah, it's been pretty tough, and kudos to everybody who's been sticking it through, not just on Hexo, but on all MJ, because this isn't easy, right? And it's just like one of the PAL group members said today. man, could you hit us with some good news or something? Like, this is painful to watch, and each and every day this is really hard on the head, right? And that's exactly what the market makers want you to think. That's exactly what they're trying to do. That's the emotions that they're trying to cause, and this is high stakes and it's high emotions, right? And this is what, unfortunately, most people, it's like lemmings running off a cliff, right? Somebody I follow on YouTube, can't remember the name at the moment, but always uses the analogy. It's like human lemmings running off of a cliff, right? And if you can just gauge what the lemmings are doing and basically do the opposite, you're probably going to be fine. And the fact of the matter is most people are running off a cliff, and just they don't want to deal with it, and they're completely out. They're capitulated. They're moving on. Their emotions. They're frustrated. This is never going anywhere. And they just want to put a stop to the bleeding, right? And then that's when you least expect it, and you go to sleep, you wake up the next day and everything is run 20-30%, and there you are chasing, right? So it's a mind game. It really is. And the more time that goes on and on, I mean, it still kind of shocks me too, right? To see some of these names down 80% from the highs, right? Especially when so many people were starting to believe in MJ again. It was such a bear period there for quite a while. It was pretty bleak in the sector from 2019 after the vape scare and all that stuff. It was really painful, right? And then eventually we finally saw that explosion where we ran out of sellers, and then people started believing again. And now here we are back down, pretty much gave up that whole move from back in the elections there in the US elections. So it's not easy. And this is what happens with crypto. This is what happens in MJ. The two most highly volatile sectors on the planet, they're going to do this. They're going to just create that emotional roller coaster that time and time again, they just completely rinse and repeat. And it doesn't matter if it's to the upside or the downside, they're going to play you on both emotions. They're going to get you greedy when you should be fearful, and they're going to get you fearful whenever you should be greedy, right? And that's just plain, simple language and verbiage as to how the game is played. Who are you voting for? I'm not really disclosing that, to be honest. I don't really follow politics. So I'm not really qualified to answer who I think should win, and it's not really what the goal of this channel is, Mohammed, to be honest with you. But usually I keep my vote confidential. With oil at 70-ish and huge earnings coming, does it make sense to start nibbling at SU and CNQ with this hiccup? Yeah, it's personally, I did a video. You probably saw a couple of videos I did on Suncor. So I said that I expected a massive drop after we had that double top and the daily downtrend confirmed. We broke out of the pennant bearish, and we had a double top off the 200 weekly moving average. And we pulled back quite significantly from that area. And I'm just, with everything right now, uncertainty in the market with SPY starting monthly consolidation, I'd be cautious. We want to see. I'd want to see it play out a little bit longer, but let me just take a look at the oil chart here as well. Just a real quick glance. I do have to wrap things up, as I do have an appointment to run to. But oil started monthly consolidation last month, so that was a little bit of a clue that we could have potentially saw it coming in the broader market in SPY as well. But it's a monthly inside bar at the moment, so not a bad idea. It held EMA 12 support. And a nice lower wick there on the monthly time frame. I'll just take a quick glance at SU as well. So monthly high or low looking to form on SU, but we are rejecting at EMA 12 resistance. So if we can close the month over $20, I'd be watching for that. But it's a monthly inside bar on SU as well. So watch resistance at 20.33 and support at 17.10. Wouldn't want to be in SU if we lost 17.10. But if you wanted to play off of that support, if you entered recently off that support, that would have been a great play in my opinion. I actually did a video on that. I said, is it time to be buying SU? So check out that video as well on my channel, Colin. You think Canero will go lower than 15? It's possible. It's possible. That's another name that I'm bullish on as well. And good eye there. Let me take a look at the love chart. Yeah, I sold quite a bit of love, sold pretty much all of my position when we were back at about 18 cents, seeing the whole sector bleeding out. I knew it was only a matter of time. Well, I didn't know, I had a hunch that it was only a matter of time before it would start to follow the rest of the sector. And like I said, when SPY was showing a lot of weakness, I was skeptical. But yeah, we have next support on Canero is down at 14.5 cents. And then after that, it's 12.5 cents. So it's entirely possible we're still not weekly oversold. So like I said, if most of our MJ names get to weekly oversold, that would probably take us down to around the 14 or 12 cents area on love. So again, MJ sector likely needs to hit that capitulation bottom in weekly extreme oversold conditions, right? The whole sector, both US and Canada, are just extremely bearish, and there's no hope in sight really at the moment. I don't expect anything unless we get some huge deals. I know I've heard some rumors that we could potentially see some CPG partner deals. I know that there's probably more than a dozen CPG partners, CPG companies, so consumer packaged good companies, that are looking to get into the MJ space. So we'll see. It's more than likely going to be a news catalyst event, though, that's going to spark the market or the sector, in my opinion. So I'd just be watching the rest of the sector, and if you wanted to start playing off that 14-cent support on Canero, wouldn't be a bad idea as well. All right, so I'm going to wrap it up. Again, just wanted to come on, do a quick live stream, let everybody know that I'll be back to my regular schedule probably in the next week or two. I'm going to also be traveling in a month, a little less than a month. I'm going to be going to Colorado. So I'm going to be doing some shopping there. Going to be hitting a bunch of dispensaries in Denver, and going to try out the Trust CBD USA products as well in the liquor stores there. And if anybody has any products that they find interesting in the Colorado market, I'm also going to be going to Vegas for MJ BizCon, which will be on October 18th. So if anybody has any products in Vegas or Colorado that they want me to check out and do a review on, let me know. I'd be happy to do that. And like I said, you can expect some footage from that, and I'll be doing some videos and updates and reviews on the MJ BizCon as well. Really looking forward to that. And going to Florida in January, and gonna go see a Golden Knights game whenever I'm in Vegas. I forget, it's St. Louis. Yeah, St. Louis Blues they play. So gonna go see that one. Really looking forward to it. Will the NASDAQ demand a minimum $1 share price of Hexo, or can it be delisted from the NASDAQ? I do believe it's $1 minimum, but like I said, just take a look at SNDL. SNDL sitting at 68 cents right now, and it's been under $1 for quite some time. I know they were given an extension. I haven't checked into that, what the status is on SNDL, if they got another extension on that, but I'd have to look into it a little bit more. That's something whenever I get a bit more time here. Like I said, I'm not in my regular setup, and I'll be back to my regular schedule here in a couple of weeks, and things will be a bit more settled. Like I said, the real estate property that I'm fixing up and selling has been taking a lot of my time. So once I get this move out of the way and get a little bit more stationary, I'll be able to dedicate a little bit more time, but really looking forward to it. Now's the time to be keeping yourself busy in a bear market. In terms of if you're interested in MJ stocks, you don't want to be sitting there. If you're looking at long-term positions and you're down 20%, well, it is what it is. Now it's just a waiting game. And personally, I'm completely fine. I don't feel the emotions that most people feel anymore, and that's because I've prepared myself for it mentally and financially and strategically, right? So if you got a hedge position or you're holding cash, right? So part of my plan as well, I'm hoping that the market stays down. It was actually quite convenient that SPY started monthly consolidation this month, and that we've seen this weakness in SPY in the MJ sector, because when I sell this real estate property, my goal is to take some of that profit, about 5% of that profit, and put it into MJ stocks and into the market. So pretty excited. Hopefully it stays down lower. I don't want to be the guy who says I hope we go lower, because I don't think I would be too well received. I just hope we don't go too much lower, and I hope we don't explode too fast here until about a week or so, whenever we can get that deal closed. But either way, I'm okay with it, right? I think any of these prices right now, if you're bullish on the MJ space, as bullish as I am, I'm looking 1 to 3 to 5 years out. I've got my long-term hold, no touch. I've got my long-term hold account, and then I've got my swing account. I've got my day trade account. But at the moment, just not day trading MJ. I'm just sitting on my hands, sitting on my bull positions, and like I said, hedging with some SPXS, and whatever you need to do, holding cash, right? Whatever helps you sleep at night, and just as long as you prepare yourself for more downside from here, that's basically what I'll end with, because we can absolutely go lower from here. All right, going to end it there, everybody. Thanks again for joining us in the pursuit of wealth. Again, thanks for joining us. And I know it's hard. It's not easy in the market, especially right now. And with SPY just being at all-time highs and many names running, it's easy to feel left out. And why didn't my names run? But just keep in mind that this is cyclical. These things happen, and eventually we're going to come a time where greed will be present again, and you'll be glad that you stuck it through. And the ones that are the most patient will end up being the wealthiest in the end. All right, thanks again for joining us on the Pursuit of Wealth, and we'll see you in the next